Good evening. Welcome to the Institute for Spiritual Development. The Institute for Spiritual Development is a God-centered, spiritually inclusive, metaphysical church and community dedicated to our growing spiritual awareness in an atmosphere of unconditional love and acceptance. Welcome home. With the belief that all paths lead us home, ISD is dedicated to helping each spirit to walk their path with courage and joy. We stand for each individual's rights to seek their personal truth, as they respect the same right for others. We honor the sacred texts of all traditions of the light. We believe that communication with all spirits is possible and is manifested in mediumship and healing. We have services on the first and third Sundays of the month at 10:30 a.m. We have recently physically returned to the Masonic Lodge in Madison, New Jersey in August, but we will continue to have services both physically and virtually for your convenience. We are providing these virtual classes so that we can still provide you with an opportunity to connect with each other during the week and to continue our learning and spiritual growth. We plan on extending our classes to virtual Thursday for healing. So if you're interested in the healing class, please let us know. If you're interested in attending any ISD class, please send us an email at contact@isdmadison.org or fill out the survey on our homepage at www.isdmadison.org. If we currently do not offer this class at Madison, we will check to see if another ISD offers a class. And if you would like to facilitate a class, we would love to have you. We are here to serve you, so please let us know how we can serve. If you would like to make a donation to the Institute, please click on the donate button on our homepage or click on the link that will be put in the chat after the meditation, as it costs money to keep our doors open and your love donation is greatly appreciated. Thank you. In tonight's meditation, we're going to be exploring soul awareness and spirituality. So we're going to play a little music to get relaxed. I would ask everyone to please mute yourselves and to turn off your videos if you're on Zoom. And just sit or lay down comfortably. With your hands relaxed, your feet relaxed. And just breathe in and breathe out. We're going to be breathing in strength. And on the out breath, breathe out fear. Breathe in strength. Breathe out chaos. And with the out breath, breathing a little longer than the in breath. Breathe in strength. Breathe out chaos. And with each breath, become more and more relaxed. Breathing in strength, breathing out judgment, and any other words you feel appropriate. As we explore self-awareness dimensions, which include social, physical, psychological, spirituality, emotion, sexual, and relational. So as we tune into our body, we're breathing in, we're breathing out. We're going to scan our bodies like we always do for any signs of tension or discomfort. And ask yourself, what is happening here? Perhaps you'd like to visualize yourself looking into a mirror, but this mirror is showing you the reflection of your soul. Notice if you're clenching your fist or jaw. That might mean that you're feeling angry. Notice if your shoulders are tense. And realize that it might mean that you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Or you might even discover that a persistent physical issue you have is connected with a stressful place or person. So again, looking at that mirror into your heart and soul, what is your body telling you? Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Once you become aware of the issue, you can then take steps to reduce your stress, anger, or sadness. So take a few moments to scan your body and see what needs to be worked out. And send that part of your body extra light and love. Keep breathing in and breathing out. Next, we're going to identify your specific type of body armor. Body armoring is described as the process of storing traumatic experiences within the muscles of our bodies. The issue is within the tissue. If you have a certain part of your body that is frequently sore, stiff, or full of pain, it is likely that there's some kind of trapped or reinforced emotion stuck there. By paying attention to your body, you'll be able to identify your type of body armoring. So let's close our eyes, or your eyes are closed. Just scan your body. Is there any areas of your body that have frequent pain and soreness? And just looking in the mirror at your soul. What is your body trying to tell you? If your body suffered a traumatic experience, let's send that part of your body extra light and love. Knowing that the body can restore itself to perfect health, as it always does. If you think about it, when you cut your finger, it heals automatically. There's nothing you have to do. And your body naturally wants to return to homeostasis. And know also that you can always close your eyes and come back to this place and work on your body again. If there's still some remnants that need to be healed. This is your time for self-love, self-reflection, and self-awareness. Next, you may want to consider to ask your inner self or someone to point out your blind spots. This might sound scary, but it's actually one of the most powerful self-awareness activities out there. And if you want to do this, it's better to find a trusted friend, counselor, spiritual guide, or coworker for this activity. Or perhaps you can look in the mirror and your soul and heart is revealing the answers to this question. And of course, we always want to stress the positive without judgment. But you may want to ask your soul or this other person to reveal any weaknesses or unhelpful habits that you might possess that you have been unable to look at until now. And we realize that facing our flaws can be confronting and distressing to the ego. But our inner soul, our inner wisdom, sees us only as perfection. And if your ego feels distressed, just remember that ego is edging God out. So you want to make sure you're in a calm and centered space before you do this with someone who you trust. You can always trust your inner self. And again, this is not a negative assessment of yourself. This is just to become more self-aware and realize what you're doing, because it may not be positive or helpful in your life. And if you find anything that needs to be corrected, you can do so easily and effortlessly without judgment. Keep breathing in and breathing out. And again, we're pretending to stand in front of the mirror. A simple but powerful way of becoming more self-aware is to listen to your self-talk. One way of doing this is to stand right in front of a mirror, staring at yourself, a physical mirror. And again, we're not trying to criticize ourselves, just trying to become aware of what our triggers are, or what insecurities or negative self-judgments arrive. Mirror work will give you a direct insight into how you perceive yourself and therefore increase your self-awareness. What are the dominant feelings you experience? Do you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you? Not as an ego thing, but just a self-appreciation of the wonderful, perfect spiritual being that you are, coming from Source, as Source is perfect, therefore we are perfect. If you're not comfortable looking at yourself in the mirror, ask yourself why. Maybe things might come up. You're too fat or too thin or too short or too tall, and that's just a physical outer body. But you were created this way as your choice and your script before you were born. So what are the lessons you need to learn in this incarnation to help you learn and grow? Not criticize yourself. Because there's plenty others out there that are more than happy to criticize you. So if you're not showing yourself self-love, who will? And how can anyone else love you? Think about your greatest strengths next. Reflect on your accomplishments and the things you're proud of. What do you like about yourself? You might want to get a journal and record all of your discoveries. The more aware you are of your strengths, the more you'll be able to make self-aware decisions that are aligned with your authentic self. And as you focus on the positive, you attract more positive in your life. By law of attraction. Give yourself a virtual acknowledgement for all the wonderful things you've accomplished in your life. You may want to explore your biggest weaknesses. But as Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, our strength grows out of our weaknesses. Once you're able to face and own these darker parts of yourself, the more freedom and power you will paradoxically experience. One way of exploring weaknesses is by doing shadow work. And in shadow work, you may want to notice whenever you experience strong emotions such as shame, guilt, anger, resentment, and fear, and ask, what triggered these feelings? You may even want to keep a shadow journal to record your discovery so you can track your journey of self-awareness. Recognizing where these feelings come is the first step in overcoming them. Because there's nothing to fear. Because only God and love are true. Next, you may want to think about what is your number one distraction. Our distractions tell us a great deal about our fears, impulses, and hidden desires. What unnecessary task takes up a lot of your time? Perhaps it might be watching TV, online shopping, snacking, scrolling through Instagram, playing video games, gossiping with friends, or even getting lost in daydreams. Distraction isn't always a bad thing, but when we obsessively find ways of escaping reality, there's a problem. Draw awareness to your distractions, and you will be on the path to greater self-insight. And again, we're just trying to become more aware of ourselves and learn more about ourselves. We try to learn from our experiences so we live a healthy, long life. And these are only suggestions and recommendations, because you should only do what feels comfortable and happy to yourself. You may want to practice meditation and mindfulness, which is why we have these weekly meditation classes. So we have time to get together and share and meditate together. Mindfulness means paying attention to the present moment, whereas meditation is learning how to become aware of your thoughts. Together they make a dynamic duo. Mindfulness helps to ground you in reality, which increases self-awareness. Meditation, on the other hand, is a way in which you can become intimately acquainted with your mind and its processes. Both practices can be incorporated relatively effortlessly into your day. It is recommended that you take 5 or 10 minutes to drop into your body and senses. It's an act of self-love, not ego. Keep breathing in and breathing out, feeling your body and your mind. Have you learned anything about yourself so far? Are there things that you're afraid to look at or face? There's no worry or judgment here. Everything is a process. Life is a process. And you're in a safe space, and nothing and no one can hurt you here. And the better you know yourself, the better you can understand why you do the things you do, or say the things you say, or act the way you do. Perhaps there's things that you love about yourself that you wouldn't change. But perhaps there's other things you think you can do better. This is your time for yourself, for inner reflection. You may want to keep a daily sunshine journal. Record all the things you love within your day. Write down how good you felt. And anything else you'd like to express. Journaling is a simple and powerful form of self-expression that is a wonderful way to enhance your self-awareness. And by writing down positive experiences, you'll be attracting more positive experiences into your life by law of attraction. It's also a focusing mechanism. How do you feel? How's your breathing? Perhaps you'd like to think about what you dislike the most in others. Perhaps you've heard people say, I hate people who are judgmental, and not realizing that that person was judging those people for being judgmental. Oops. Yes, it happens a lot. Most of us aren't even aware that we're projecting a lot of our stuff onto other people. Because if we feel something or we act a certain way, that emotion is inside of us. Whether it's anger or hatred or judgment. So instead of looking at the other person, we need to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, where's this emotion coming from? What's the trigger? Perhaps if I make peace with the trigger, I will no longer feel this emotion. Of course, it's easier to disown the parts we dislike about ourselves. It's easier to live with ourselves. But the easy path is a lazy path. As self-growth isn't always flowers and rainbows, and nor does it need to be. The reality is that we want to become truly self-aware. We need to own our own projections at some point or another. By reclaiming and embracing the denied, suppressed, and shunned aspects of ourselves, we feel more at peace with ourselves and those around us. This, of course, requires radical self-honesty. Do you have the guts to own your own projections? And if you don't now, that's okay. But again, the purpose of this meditation is self-awareness and learning more about who you are, what makes you happy, what triggers you. And remember, the next time you're pointing your fingers at someone, you're pointing one finger at them and three fingers back at yourself. As we don't like it when others judge us. And as the late, great Dr. Wayne Dyer said, if you squeeze an orange, what comes out? It's not apple juice. It's not cranberry juice. It's orange juice. Why? Because that's what it's made of. So what happens if you squeeze yourself? What comes out? Do you like what comes out? And we don't have to solve everything today. You can do this step by step, whatever you're comfortable with. Perhaps there are things just too painful to look at tonight. But just do whatever's comfortable for yourself. Self-awareness is a lifelong process. There's no real endpoint because we are constantly morphing and evolving. And it would be pretty boring if self-awareness could be condensed into a 5-day retreat. With this in mind, it's important to have fun on the journey. And there's so many intriguing ways to peel back the layers of your psyche. So in essence, have an insatiable thirst for self-knowledge. Perhaps you'd like to go out there and watch lectures, attend workshops, and gain new skills. See life as a school and use every opportunity you can to increase your self-awareness and self-acceptance. And see if you like living this way better than you have been. Because it's such a beautiful way to live. And just keep scanning your body, scanning your mind, thinking about the things you've examined, the things you've learned about yourself. Without judgment, without fear. Before we close our meditation, I'd like to leave you with some quotes from great masters to help you think about self-awareness and see if these make sense to you. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And that's by Aristotle. Self-awareness is a key to self-mastery by Gretchen Rubin. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. by C.G. Jung. Self-love is a good thing, but self-awareness is more important. You need to go, you need to once in a while go, oh, I'm kind of a fill in the blank, by Louis C.K. Self-awareness involves deep personal honesty. It comes from asking and answering hard questions, by Stephen Covey. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. Lao Tzu. The greatest of faults is to be conscious of none. Thomas Carlyle. And awareness is the greatest agent for change, by Eckhart Tolle. So let's just breathe in those wonderful quotes. See how they feel. What is necessary to change a person is to change his awareness of himself, by Abraham Maslow. Self-awareness includes awareness of your mental realm, which encompasses your thoughts, feelings, energies, and emotions, by Deepak Chopra. The unexamined life is not worth living, by Socrates. And without self-awareness, we are babies in the cradle, by Virginia Woolf. Now let's take a few moments to talk to your inner soul, your inner heart, your inner ding, whatever you'd like to call it. If there's anything else you want to ask about yourself, or anything you want to correct or change in the mirror. But you should see yourself as a wonderful spiritual being having a temporary human experience, surrounded by love and light, and that your gifts that you have to offer the world are unique and only belong to you. No one is exactly like you. So again, think about what happens if we squeeze you, what comes out. Now look at yourself in this mirror and tell yourself, I love you. I really love you. How does it feel? And you're going to give yourself a virtual hug, a spiritual hug, knowing that you can always come back to this wonderful place and re-examine yourself again. with the intention of getting to know yourself better. And that you are always loved and supported. Thank you very much for sharing with us this evening. And we hope to see you again next week. Namaste.